Okay, good morning all. Today we are going to discuss. Yesterday we have seen uh, for each activity get metadata activity. For each activity, we again need to go back to the situations where we exactly use. And as of now, we are. I'm hoping that you are familiar with that get metadata activity. And now, continuation to that, we are going to learn copy data activity. Okay, copy data activity is the I mean, all other activities place 40%. Copy activity alone takes 60% weightage of um, Azure Data Factory. Okay. Copy data activity, what we do? See, we are working on ETL tool. ETL tool is means what? Extract, transform, and load. Okay. And one of the fortunate thing is in Data Factory, we don't do much transformations. We just load the data. Okay, we just copy the data or we just load the data, and by using the other tools, other services like Databricks and all, we do the transformations, and we will implement medallion architecture, and we will process the data. Okay, we will learn how to do a transformations as well, but most of the things, okay, 80% of the project, what they will do, they simply copy the data from file to SQL server or from source to destination. Okay, that's why we need to learn copy data activity thoroughly. Okay, copy data activities is the most commonly used activity. That's what I said, like I have given it is a 60% weightage. It is designed to copy the data from source data stores to destination. And here, in wherever you hear a word like destination, it is called a sink. Okay, destination, what we call it is a sink. See, copy data activity, what it will do, it will copy the data from source to destination without any transformations. Transformations in the sense, if there is a first name and last name, and if you want to club both together as a full name, that kind of transformations copy data won't do. Copy data, what it will do, it will simply copy the data from source to destination, I mean sync. If you want to do the transformations, we need to do, there is one more activity called a data flow activity that we need to use. Okay, it supports copying data between 100 plus connectors. 100 plus connectors in the means either it would be source or a sink. Okay, in our examples, mostly commonly used sources are Excel, SQL Server, ADLS Gen 2, I mean blob storage, uh, and CSV files, and so on. So these are all the some of the connectors, including, see here, Azure Database, SQL Server, blob storage, uh, data lake storage Gen 2. See this Azure blob storage and data lake storage Gen 2, both are same. Only one difference is hierarchical namespace. You may encounter a question called what is the difference between Azure blob storage and ADLS Gen 2. Okay, the difference between Azure blob storage and ADLS storage Gen 2 is the hierarchical namespace. Just both in a single service, I mean like a storage account only. But if you choose that while we are creating the service, if you opt for hierarchical namespace, then what we call it as a storage Gen 2. Okay, Amazon Gen 3, the same service is from Amazon. Okay, Tim, I'm discussing about the copy data activity. Okay, copy data activity is, we are using copy data activity to copy the data without any transformations. Without any transformations means we'll use the copy data to copy data from source to sync as is. Okay, in the copy data, we are not allowed to do any transformations. We just copy the data or copy the file. Copy, we can do the data as well, copy the data as well, and we can do the file as well. That's what it is doing. See, so there are 100 plus connectors. Okay, 100 plus connectors with this copy data activity we can use. Connectors in the sense either it may be source or sync. See, these are the some of the sources. We can connect to SQL Server, blob storage, Gen 2, Amazon, Oracle, SAP, Snowflake, Databricks, and so on. So, okay, some of these are the some of the sources that we can connect. See, real-time example is going to be like this. And yesterday, when I s- uh, when I show my example, my project example, where I am connecting SFTP location file share, and from there placing the file to blob storage, and from there I'll use the Azure Data Factory and I load the data to Azure SQL database. This is the general scenario. Our source may be different, but this would be our source and destination would be different, but intermediate we will use blob storage and data factory, and this will be the common. Okay, where copy data activity used, data migration, data migration without any transformations. Okay, warehouse loading, earlier we are going to use data warehouses for our reporting purposes. So if you want to load the data by using this, we will use it. Okay, data lake ingestion. Okay, let me do one thing. We need to include when I'm attending interviews, right, for our other folks. What we see, they are asking data warehousing fundamentals. SCD types. Okay, data lake ingestion. Database to database copy, on-premise to cloud copy. On-premise to cloud copy in the sense, this is my example.
Tulsi, you are not sharing your screen.
Oh, sorry, sorry. Mm, I hope you can see now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for letting me know. This is what the example diagram I'm showing, real-time example. See, ERP system. It could be this what we call it as a source, and at the end SQL server, what we call it as a sink. Okay, blindly remember this thing. Copy data means we just copy the data. Okay, we don't do any transformations. Okay, it won't allow us to do any transformations. Okay, if you want to do the transformations, we need to use a data flow. This is only the thing that you need to remember. Okay, see copy data, where copy data used these things. I'm going to share this document with you today. Okay, so you can refer the notes if you want. Data warehouse loading, data lake ingestion, database to database, incremental data loading. Okay, backup and archival process. What I told, we can copy the data and we can copy the files as well from one place to another place. That also we can do. Okay, different options available. See, these are the common different common sources that we see in the first section. These tabs and all we know, right? General tab, please do remember, in the general tab there are only two important settings. One is name and another one is timeout, and another one is retrieve interval. Retrieve interval. Okay, see, name means activity name. Timeout means, see, if you are connecting to the source, how much time it has to wait if the source is not responding. This tells us that property. Okay, retrieval. See, I am connecting to SQL server. SQL server is not responding. How much time I need to wait? And okay, I have given 5 minutes as the wait time. After 5 minutes, do I need to retry one more time? How many times I need to retry? This is what the retry interval. This is this looks simple, but this plays a vital role in the real-time development, because when we are connecting with CRM systems and some other non-relational database systems, what happens? They don't respond immediately. Okay, some of the systems works on API based model. They don't respond immediately. So what we need to do, we need to wait for some time, and we need to do, we don't wait manually, we will give you a wait time, and then we will give you a retrieval interval. Suppose if I give 5 minutes as a wait time and 3 as an interval, what it will do, it will wait for 5 minutes. It will wait for 5 minutes, and then connection dropped, and again retry for 3 times. That is what. And then source tab and sync tab and mapping tab. See, what we are doing a copy activity. For that, what we need a source, we need a sink in the sense destination, and what we need one more thing, since we are loading the data, we need a mapping. Mapping means what is the source column, what is the destination column. That kind of mapping also we need to give. These are all the four important tabs that will be requiring, and some other as well, performance related, that we will see practically. Okay, these are same. Oh, already I have given this thing: source tab, sync tab, mapping. Okay, sync tab, mapping tab. Mapping tab, see, there are two options in the mapping tab. Okay, what are those? Auto mapping and manual mapping. What is mapping is, suppose you have given you have a source as a CSV file, as a CSV file we have in a blob storage as source, and we are trying to load the data to SQL Server table. Okay, if we choose auto mapping, what it will do, these things, whatever we are discussing in copy data activity, those are utmost priority things. Okay, because this is a heart. Copy data is the heart of Azure Data Factory. Okay, this tool is all about to load the data or copy the data. That's why we need to uh, uh, pay utmost priority to this copy data activity. Okay, rest of the activities based on the scenarios we will do, but ultimate goal is to copy the data or load the data, right? That's why we need to learn each and every point of this copy data activity. Okay, as of now we have seen general tab. Okay, general tab is for these settings, and source tab is for source connection settings. Sync tab is for destination, and mapping we are discussing. Mapping is to, there are two options: auto mapping and manual mapping. Auto mapping, see, if we connect to CSV file, let's take CSV file as an example, and we are loading the data from source to destination SQL server. If you choose auto mapping, what it will do, whatever the column names are matching from source to the sink, it will load. It will map and it will load. Suppose in the source file, I have a column called name, and the sink SQL also, I have a column called name. So both will map automatically. Okay, and suppose another example, in the source side, I have a customer name. In the sink side, I have a name. Those things won't map because it will map based on the column names. Manual mapping means we will map. In the second scenario, what I told, we will map customer name is a name in the destination, that we will see. And here, see, here place the costing. Settings tab, integration runtimes. Okay, integration DIUs. DIUs, where we have seen this DIUs, we have seen when we execute any activity in the JSON structure output, we will see how much of the time it has spent. That I show you, right? How much time it sent, and what is the integration runtime it used, kind of things. Okay, degree of copy parallelism. This integration units that we need to select, because see, yesterday I told you, like, course, based on the course CPU course, our task will be distributed, and the task will be executed. Likewise here also, when we are creating a linked service, we can choose how many cores we want. Generally, cores will be like powers of 2. Anything, any calculation in computing, okay, on computer systems, the calculation would be power of 2, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4, like that. Okay, so I say our core should be 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. Okay, these many cores we can select. These many cores. Okay, based on these cores, our costing will be different. Okay, even if you don't, if you use or don't use, what happen if you choose the higher number, there will be a slabs. If you go to 32 cores, This setting as a developer we don't do. This will be done as part of initial initiation, right? That setup has been done, then this we can change it as well based on the loads, data loads. We can alter these things. Suppose if you have given some number and if you want to reduce the number or increase the number, that we can do. In general, we will choose 32. Okay, 32 or 16 our data loads, this will be sufficient. What happened, okay, if you have a number, if you choose higher number, what happened, costing will be based on that higher number. Okay, see, it is like a power, our power consumption, power bill, right? If you use 100 unit, less than 100 unit, our costing will be, per unit cost will be 5 rupees. If you are beyond that 100 unit, our costing will be 7 rupees. And beyond the 200, if you cross the 200, our costing per unit will be, I mean, like 15 rupees or something. Here also same. So we have to choose wisely. Okay, degree of copy parallelism. Degree of copy parallelism. See, I have a file. Okay, I have a file. There, I have millions of records. Okay, I have millions of records, and I have a copy data activity is allowing also do the copy. Okay, not in a sequential manner. Okay, it can do it in a parallel manner. Parallel manner with degree of parallelism. If I see what is the maximum number is 32. Okay, 32 copy activities will be launched. Even if you develop and if you give only one copy data activities, if you set this property to 32, 32 pair logical way, 32 copy activities will be launched, and 32 ways it will process the data from 32 paths. For that we need a data setup also. Okay, it's simply if you give a 32 it will copy 32, that won't work. Data has to support based on some I mean like partitioning or some date range. That is one of the primary important question that I am going to prepare one video that I'll share it with you so that you'll get some idea. At this point of time, there is an option of degree of copy parallelism that we can set if you want to load more copy. We have developed with one copy. If I want to make use of 32 copies, we can go back and set this property to 32. Okay, fault tolerance means during our data loads, some of the rows are faulty. I mean, like some are not compatible with the data type or something. So we can load this thing to separate. Okay, this and load this faulty rows to separate rather than failing the data load. I mean, I'm trying to load 100 records. There is one record is faulty record. Instead of date and time, it is loading some text data. So it will fail. Instead of failing, if I want to load that faulty records into separate table, that I can do it. What happened? We are loading millions of records. At the end of the process or in the middle of the process, there is one faulty record. Due to that faulty record, our entire flow will be failed. So I don't want to do that one. I want to load that faulty record into some. I'll create one table, faulty table, and I'll load that. That we can do. These are all set up. We no need to do any coding and all. Just need to go to that option and need to enable it. But what you need to know, you need to know how does it work. If you know there is a probable, I mean like there is a possibility to do that things, you can easily go and configure. If you don't know that, you never imagine like we will be doing these things and all. So if you know this fault tolerance option in your real-time scenarios, if you encounter any such scenarios, you directly go to the fault tolerance option and you set it. If you don't know this thing what happened, you never think like we can do these things. Okay, that's why we need to learn each and every property. Staging. Staging is what? Stage area. Temporary stage area. Temporary stage area in the sense, suppose while you are doing the lateral loads from Azure to Azure, it will be faster because both are in Azure service, and they will use similar kind of network settings and all. So, but when you are using on-prem system as a source or destination, and you are one side you are using as a Azure system, then here what happened? There is a mismatches in the hardware and mismatches in the network happens. So in such scenarios, what we will do as part of a performance optimization, we will first load the data to cloud storage. Okay, cloud, and then from cloud to cloud, we will move the data. That's what we call it as a staging. Before we are loading the data from source to destination, first we will keep this data in somewhere. That place is called as a staging. These are all options we are going to see practically. Okay, just to give you an overview, I have explained these things. See, I told by using the copy data activity, we can copy the data from source to destination. Okay, do you feel like any limitation here? Okay, there is a limitation. What? We cannot transform the data, right? In general scenarios, most of these times, we may need to transform the data. We don't load the data as is. Okay, our goal is what? Our aim is what? Earlier, okay, we are in the middle. There is a source system. Okay, there is a source system which is generating the data, and we are in the middle as a intermediate layer. We need to process the data, and at the end there is a reporting layer or some ML, AI, or data science team that they will use our data and they'll prepare some meaningful outside from our data. So our source might be different. We may need to connect to different systems to load the data. While we are doing this, okay, suppose we may need to connect to Excel, we may need to connect to some website, we may need to connect to some web API. So somewhere they call it as a name, somewhere they call it as a customer name, somewhere they will call it as something something. So our goal is to make it unique. Okay, whether it is customer name or cust name or just a name, we should be creating some unique column and we should be loading the data so that our downstream systems will happily use that column, and they will do their work. They are not concerned about the uniqueness of the things. So our goal is earlier in the middle layer where we sit, they call it as a ETL: extract, transform, load. But now this cloud data engineering and these modern tools, what we are calling it as a ELT layer. ELT layer: extract, load, and transform. See the difference. ETL, ELT. ETL: extract, transform, load. Just try to understand these things. uh, Difference between ETL and ELT. See, ELT: extract, ETL, ETL. Extract, load, transform. See, ETL: extract, transform, load. So see what we are doing. We have a different source systems, and we have a destination systems. What we are doing, we are extracting first, we are loading, and we are transforming. ELT. This is a modern approach. ELT is a modern approach. ETL is a traditional approach. I mean, like SSIS. If you are using SSIS, that is an ETL tool. But if you are using ADF, that is an ELT tool. So see here what we are doing in the ETL SSIS, what we will do, we will extract the data. During the load itself, we will transform. We will load and we will transform and we will load. During the data load itself, we will do this transformation. But in the modern cloud engineering, what we were doing is ELT. First we will extract and load to cloud, and then we will transform. Okay, and then we will transform. That's what the scenario. Okay, advantages of this thing, copy data. 100 plus connectors. 100 plus connectors means the sources and links. No coding. We no need to code anything. We just go there and set the property. It works. If it is not working, you you do a hit and trial kind of things. Okay, and one more thing is here we cannot go and blindly set like options, this performance optimization options for it depends on data loads. If you are doing 1 million records, the configuration may be different. If you are doing 100 million, the configuration may be different. That decision we have to take. We know it, there is no hard rules. Okay, based on the loads, we will change. Suppose if we have given the 16 number and copy parallelism is 632, what happened? See, observe here, if we give 60 here and if we give 60, both will match, so it will give performance, it will both will be in sync, it will give optimal results. That kind of decision we will make based on the data loads. Okay, parallel processing is what, whenever you see parallel processing, you see this degree of parallelism, copy parallelism option. Built-in retrieve and fault tolerance. Earlier you don't know this thing, right? What is retrieve? Retrieve I already explained. Okay, when we are connecting to source, we can do a retrace. Fault tolerance means faulty records, instead of failing that pipeline, failing that process, we can load that faulty records into separate stream, so that our later what we will do, see, we are loading millions of records. There are only 10 to 20 records are faulty records. Instead of failing the pipeline, we will load the rest of the records, and later we go to that faulty table and we'll correct the data and we'll process the 10 or 20 records. Okay, schema mapping support. Schema mapping, I told you, right? Auto mapping we can do, schema mapping we can do. Secure credential management through linked service. Okay, linked service we already seen. Well, linked service is what? Linked to another service, from Azure Data Factory to blob storage or any other service. It establishes a link, and what we need for this link, we need an approvals from the respective service. Okay, that is what this credential management. You don't give the credentials while we are copying the data. We will use the linked service. Support schedule trigger. Okay, this is just because this is a feature of ADF only, scheduling, triggering, and all. Limitations we need to see. Perform the data movements only. It does not transform the data. See, we just do the data data movement. We don't do any transformations. Complex transformation requires mapping data flows, data bricks, and Azure functions. See, Databricks. Okay, data factory only. What we will do, whatever we are doing settings here, we will do it manually through code in the Databricks. Data Databricks also data engineering tool. Okay, what is the different? What is the main difference is here in the data factory, we will do all the settings through options. If you go to an activity, we will see an options and we need to set an options. And if you go to the Databricks, we will write the code. Suppose if you want to set that copy degree parallelism 16, if you go and there should be one property for data frame, you set it. Okay, if you want complex transformations, as I told, ADF is an ELT tool, right? Extract, load, and transform. We will do up to extraction and loading, and then transformation will be done by Databricks. Okay, that's why our ADF is having multiple, is placing multiple roles, but data flow is slowly data flow, all these transformations and this even though it is taking, Databricks required support from ADF, because for scheduling the jobs, okay, for loading collecting the data from different sources, we require this one, this thing. From beginning onwards, I am telling like this is just a simple service. Okay, if you can spend 1 month, okay, with by dedicating 2 to 3 hours a day, it will be yours, the tool will be yours. And then we have to focus on the next tools, so we can later focus on Databricks, and you will be like there are so many tools and services every day coming to market. 4 years back there is no Databricks, and 7 8 years back there is no ADF like that. What happens, right? Every day this tools are evolving. Okay, and now nowadays there are so, as we have a huge demand for this data engineering, Okay, why we need to do data engineering means we need to collect data is spreading across multiple places. If we can collect the data and if we can process the data, we can predict the future. We can predict the future. Okay, by using that data science and AI and ML, what we can do? We can do analysis of the past data, how it went, and we can do the future analysis. See, there are some departmental stores. Okay, past data analysis means what? In which store, what is the sales? Okay, what are all the different items are trending in which season? Okay, likewise, if they do that analysis, they can invest the amounts accordingly. Okay, that is about. And if you know the predictions based on the past, if you want to do the prediction, they need to have a historical data. If you have a historical data, if you do the prediction and the business analysis, they can wisely invest the money. Okay, see some of the businesses works across the country or across the regions or across the globe, right? So there should be some budget constraints. So at that time, suppose if Apple is spending their laptop or Samsung or some mobiles or something, right? If we are not using the Samsung mobiles in this country, why they need to invest that? Why they need to produce and invest the money in the Samsung mobiles in India? Okay, if some countries only purchasing laptops from that brand, okay, why do they need to invest much money? That kind of decisions they will make, and if there is a scope, that also they will predict and they will invest. Okay, that are all they need data. For that data, we need data processing. That's why data engineer is becoming very popular. So since this field is becoming popular, what happening, there are the software companies, I mean like product based companies, they are coming up with number of tools. Okay, there are so many tools, 10 plus tools available. Here we are, what we are learning, we are learning Microsoft based tools. Okay, this that Azure, whenever you see Azure is a Microsoft cloud solution, cloud platform. Likewise, there will be competitors. Okay, from Amazon S3, Amazon is also a competitor, Google is also a competitor, and Snowflake is also a competitor. There are so many. Okay, why we are using why we are learning Microsoft is Microsoft. See, in every project there will be 50 to 60 percentage they will use the Microsoft stack. So if the project, our previous project is in our front end application is in Microsoft related stack, they obviously choose data engineering tools also in Microsoft stack. So what is the performance gain? They are in a sync. Compatibility issues, that we don't feel compatibility issues. See, there is a Microsoft Power BI reporting tool. Okay, SQL Server is a database tool, and if you want to connect SQL Server from Power BI, it's easy. And if you want to connect Oracle is a Oracle is a non-Microsoft product. If you want to connect a Oracle from Microsoft, they require some drivers and there is separate setup required. Okay, that's why people um, in the industry try to use this Microsoft product. Okay. Hmm. See, we are doing only data movement. Rest of the thing will be done by another tool. Complex transformations requires mapping data flows, and this will do. Depends on sources, integration runtimes, and network performance depends on source and sync. Okay, see, try to understand every point. Performance depends on source and sync capabilities. I told you like stage area. Stage area performance depends on source sync capabilities. See, if you are your source is on-prem in a sense, our private owned systems, and our sync is in cloud, so that definitely there is a mismatch, right? Mismatch in processing speed, okay, and network and all. So this impacts, copy will impacts based on these scenarios. Integration runtimes and network bandwidth, see, that is what integration runtime is, execution. Network bandwidth is our network speed. Okay, this is not our whatever we are using at our home, not our bandwidth. In general, data movement also happens via some networks. There also we will select some bandwidth. Okay, this is all about these things, and we will see some scenarios. Okay, interview questions. This you will in the latter sometime I will share this document. You will try to understand this thing and let me know if you have any doubt. Now we go back to the solution and we'll see practically. I am creating new pipeline. Copy activity. Okay, see, I told you, um, you have to install that. You have to take this data factory service and you have to use it. What is the use? There are so many things, hidden things. This you will habituate the tool. Okay, see like this. And if you are done something wrong, if you discard, how to discard this thing, how to publish these things, these are all you will be habituated. Okay, once you are move to the real time project, if you don't know these things, they will easily catch you. You don't know this thing. Close. See, copy data. How many? Source, sync, mapping, settings, user properties. See, I'll tell you simply, simple way. These are common for all. Okay, general and settings tab is common for all. Based on the operation of that activity, this will change. Okay, general tab I mostly use to name it and retrace and times out. Okay, active and deactive. If you make it deactive, it won't work. Okay, it should be active only. Retrace and retry intervals. Okay, and then in the source side, what we will do, source we will connect to some file. Sales customer, suppose sales customer, it is pointing to, see, there is a data set where it is connecting. Source files folder. See, this is the container name. This is the container name. This is the hierarchy. Okay, so when you are connecting to blob storage, first it will take container name and folder name and file name. Okay, this is connecting to source container. Source files, see this container, see this first folder is called container. Inside the container I have already file. I want to connect to that file. So okay, file name, I don't have any directory folder, so I am giving this file name .csv. If you want to preview the data, see, I am connecting to source by using the dataset. By using the, see, I am inside the dataset. See, inside the dataset, this is the dataset requires what? Linked service. And then path. Okay, this is the path. If you want to preview, I can preview. See, I can preview. Copyright or copy. Okay, I have selected this. See what I am doing, I'm changing this data set to this folder. Earlier in if activity I have created this data set to connect to this container. Now I'm directly connecting to file because I need this one in this. Okay, if I save this one, what happens, always data set, this data set wherever we use, it is still pointing to this 100 customers only. Okay. mm, Here we need to do some settings, so then we can act. Okay, I'm setting source. Okay, what is the source? I have selected 100 customers, and these settings and all we, if there is anything I mean like specific that we need to set, otherwise it's okay. File. Okay, file type, file path in dataset. File path already we have in dataset. Sync, where I am going to do, I am going to put it in Azure SQL. Okay, Azure SQL, where it is pointing, if you can open and you can see customer, src table is customer. Okay, this data set is pointing to customer. In the real time, what we will do, we don't select the file or a table in the data sets. Rather, we will create some parameter so that we can use for whatever the table. Suppose if I have a blob storage folder, I can select any files if I do it as a parameterization. And the table also, if I make it as a parameterization, I can select any table instead of hard coding single table. Okay, we have a data 200 rows. I'm just truncating this table. This is a simple load. Okay, direct load. Okay, I don't have any data. I'm assuming that both these structures are same. Okay, so I am using auto mapping option. Auto mapping means what? We simply don't map anything. That's it. We simply don't map anything, so it will take auto map. I have selected the source, I have selected the sync, and I'm mapping. I'm choosing auto mapping, and I'll save it and run it. Copy data activity one. Okay. Mm. And how the file is going to be look like? See here, download. Mm. Okay, same. The structure is same, right? So it will load everything. I'm choosing a auto mapping option. If you want, you can map it. If you feel like the source and destinations are not same, you can do a manual mapping option. Okay, see the input. What is the input? What is source? Delimited text source. Okay, Azure blob settings. What is sync? This is Azure SQL. What is the source? Blob storage. Okay, likewise, you need to analyze what is the source and sync. This is not required anyways. See here, this is an important. This we will see. How many rows? How many rows written? See, data read is bytes. Carefully observe this thing. This you may uh, face a problem if you understand this is a rows. The output side, copy data activity, output section, data read is in bytes, data write is in bytes. Here is a actual rows read and rows write. Okay, rows read is how many? 100. Rows copied is how many? 100. Throughput. Throughput is per second. This you have to understand these words. Throughput per second. How many records it got processed? Okay. What is the integration runtime? This integration runtime I created. South India. This one integration units 4. See what is the units? 4. Okay. I'm explaining each and every point because so that okay you no need to do any uh, you, you never be a situation like I don't know this thing kind of things. Okay, every point if I open this JSON style JSON, you can tell you try to understand this thing, and if you don't know anything you ping me. I'll explain. You should be in a position to understand this entire JSON. Okay, this is a JSON. So open, close, and all the properties. Rows read in bytes. Files read one. Okay, rows read is how many rows. See here, it processed already. It is empty now. After data load, these are 100. This is what there is representing here. Throughput per second. This I'll show you. This one. This is important. This okay. And integration runtime, what it is using. Azure IR we are using. And how many integrate? What is the duration? 0.06 is the duration. This is costing. Okay, and like that. What is the source? What is the sync? Understanding the execution. Even though that is not required in our day-to-day development, that will help in different way. See input, output, and watch details. See this we will use frequently. Whatever the information we have read in the that file, it will show here clearly. We know how to read the JSON. Okay, and here right. See this you know need to understand the JSON. Here it is giving directly as a picture. See data read is in bytes. Okay, KBs. This is also we have seen right. This one 17 to 61. This one data read. Okay, this why we need to understand. They will sometimes there may be a question like what is the volume of your data. See how much volume you are processing. There may be a millions. Okay, the millions of records with GBs of data. How much data you have processed so far? That might be the question. Okay, in your interviews. So when you develop these pipelines, you go here and come here and see the real time. And I'll extract my real time counts here and I'll show you on one day. and rows read 100. And if there is any skip right, there is a possibility, like I told you, like if during some errors we will skip that also. There is a section here. If we skip anything, skip section, here it will come. And the copy duration is 12. Okay, 12. And throughput is 5 kb per second. 5 kb per second. Okay, likewise throughput will be calculated. And blob storage is our source, and SQL is our destination. Integration runtimes, how many used? 4. I told you, like there you can 256 up to you can use. Parallel copies. Parallel copies, how many used? 1. Okay. And what I'm trying to do is, I'll give you this image. You first understand this first. Clearly understand this thing. And then just upload this image in a chat GPT or any AI tool and ask it to understand. So it will give you a clear picture what it is. First you try to understand it, and then give it to your chat GPT, like just go to any tool and ask, explain this. So understanding this is very critical. Okay. Okay, that's all for today. I don't want to feed you as much as today. Tomorrow we will process some files. Okay. Today we just saw how to read the data from source to destination, and tomorrow we'll just to see how to copy the file from source to destination. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask.